Hey guys, Common Man. Got a quick little video for you here today talking about some new information about the Cybertruck. And it is the fact that Tesla is allowing people who don't have a reservation to test drive the vehicle, and if they like the vehicle, buy the vehicle. Now, why would they do that if there are 2 million pre-orders on, within the system? So I think that's a great question, and let's try to answer that. I believe that Tesla is enjoying, now basically they have, profitability on this vehicle in a very short period of time, partly because they are charging, pretty fair amount. Well, let me just rephrase that. A pretty large amount. I'm not going to speculate whether it's fair or not fair, but they're charging, say, 100 to 120,000, depending on exactly how it's configured per vehicle right now, and that won't last forever, but it is a very nice position for Tesla to be in. And the longer they can continue that, the better. So I think what's probably happening is that people like me who have reservations are being checked in with by Tesla to configure our vehicles and move forward with a purchase, and people like me are saying no, the price is much higher now than when I placed my pre-order, so I'm not interested in buying this vehicle right now at this price. But there are probably plenty of people still around who would be happy to spend that amount of money on that amazing vehicle right now. So what I think Tesla is doing is they've probably checked in with quite a number of these reservation holders, like they did with me, and we have balked at the opportunity. So they probably have just decided, you know what, this is to an extent a waste of time to continue to do this, and let's try something different. So what they're trying that is a little different is, I'm not saying they're completely stopping checking in with reservation holders, but that they are adding in another component, which is to let the public in general know that they can buy a Cybertruck, they can test drive a Cybertruck and buy a Cybertruck, even without a reservation. So as a Tesla investor, I think that's great. I think the longer they can ride this wave of being able to sell these vehicles at top dollar is great. It's great for the bottom line. So by the way, this whole test driving thing, it's coming about through emails going. I think it could be happening in a variety of ways, but from a reliable source, what I heard was that emails are getting sent out to, just maybe customers that are within the Tesla system, maybe that are current owners of a vehicle that maybe they've had for a while. Maybe especially Model S, Model X owners who are used to paying these kinds of higher dollars for a Tesla vehicle, that, saying, hey, would you like to trade in your vehicle and buy a Cybertruck, something like that. So that these emails are going out, and that's the way, or at least one of the ways, that this test drive program is going on for Cybertruck. Also, just to mention my own little personal story that ties in with this. It's a little different, but a Tesla employee somewhere in the Denver area bought a Cybertruck and I think was laid off by Tesla. I believe that is what happened. And the vehicle, he sold he couldn't really afford his Cybertruck at that point because he lost his job. So he sold the Cybertruck back to Tesla. And now Tesla is trying to figure out what to do with his Cybertruck. So Tesla reached out to a guy in Denver who I met, more about that in a second, and said, hey, Model S, Model X owner, I can't remember which he owned, but anyway, he has a very nice Tesla, and Tesla said, hey, would you like to try this Cybertruck? We'll let you take it home and test drive it for, a chunk of a day and then return it the next day at some point. So, pretty good use of that Cybertruck, not just a quick, 10-minute test drive or something like that. But anyway, he had that vehicle, was trying it out. He was pretty interested. He wasn't really sure he wanted to spend that much money on the vehicle. And then I met him. I was riding my bike home in the dark. And this was when I'd only seen maybe two Tesla Cybertrucks by that point in time. Anyway, in the dark, I'm riding along and I look over to my right. There's a Cybertruck sitting there in the dark. And, oh, wow. And there were people in it. So I actually stopped my bike on the spot. And they had the windows down a little bit. So I said, hey, I've never been this close to a Cybertruck. Can I touch your Cybertruck? I mean, I was kind of kidding around, but I really said that. I had these biking gloves on, leather gloves, to protect my hands if I had a crash or whatever. So I said, don't worry, I won't leave any fingerprints. I've got these gloves on, so on and so forth. Anyway, I was just kidding around, but being very friendly about it. And the guy said, well, I don't know, let me check with the rest of the folks in the car or whatever. And then he had two kids in the back seat. And he said, what do you think, kids? Should we let him touch the car, touch the Cybertruck? But anyway, yeah. So I was able to not only touch the Cybertruck, but then his kids ran off to the neighbor's house and started playing with their kids. And it left me and him standing there alone, chatting about bikes and cars and stuff. And he said, hey, you want to hop in and I'll give you a ride? So I got a test ride while he was getting his test drive. We drove about a block to a busy street in Denver called Colfax, and he banged a hard right and went up a couple blocks and then pulled a U-turn and went back a few blocks. And anyway, we just circled around and did some very exciting driving. I mean, the acceleration on this vehicle is amazing. The turning radius is amazing. So I've had a test ride and I was very impressed. Maybe not impressed enough to spend $100,000, $120,000 for the vehicle, but very impressed. I really want to get a Cybertruck. I just don't think that my first Tesla will be a Cybertruck. But anyway, that's my little side story. And I think it's interesting because when Tesla got a hold of that vehicle from that employee, they didn't go to a reservation holder like me. They went right out there and tried to get somebody to buy it who didn't even have a reservation. So I applaud that. I think it's a good move. And it was the first evidence that I had ever heard that something like this was going on. And then more recently, say within the last couple of days, I heard from another source that there was a more broad program going on of this nature, trying to get people to test drive and buy Cybertrucks without a reservation in place already. So I think that's very interesting and awesome for investors. I'll also give you a a little bit of an update on, if you've been following this channel, you know that I had 63 Cybertruck orders, then eventually reduced down to 61, and some hiccups with trying to cancel a few of them. So I just decided to cancel all of them. So I have a paper check coming to me, including I've now gotten a confirmation number, or a tracking number, I guess is the way to put it, for this refund. It's on its way to me. The dollar amount is $6,250, which, by the way, the math comes from 60 of those orders were $100 deposits, and one of those orders were the elevated $250 deposits. So anyway, that money's coming my way. What am I going to do with it? I have said that I'm going to buy Tesla stock, but I might buy an option to, I just think derivatives can be used to get more leverage. So a deep in the money call option. I'll give you a very specific example of what literally I might buy. So a January 2025, $160 strike price. So fairly deep in the money, fairly far out there, not like a leap or anything, but this is what I might do. So that would cost me, currently at today's prices, $61.65 per share. A call option covers 100 shares. So that would cost me $6,165. So I'd have a few dollars left over after I get this check. I'd be able to buy that. I'd be able to buy that option. And I think that's a good, solid investment that could pay off very handsomely. So we'll see. But anyway, that is what might be going on with me on this refund check. Stay tuned for updates, and bye for now.